Good morning, kids. It is great to see you today. I hope you had an incredible week. It is good to be with you. And today I want to tell you about all these little things that are on my face and my hands. These are called Band-Aids. Now, I know a lot of you have had Band-Aids on you before. I wonder, have some of you ever had a scrape or a cut where you've bled and you needed a Band-Aid? Just raise your hand. That's a lot. Wow, almost all of you, yeah. Well, in my life, I have had cuts on my head and the side of my face and all of my fingers and my elbows and my knees. I've had so many cuts on my knees. And there wouldn't be enough Band-Aids in this box to equal the amount of cuts that I've had in my life. But each and every time, God heals them. It takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes a week or even two, but God has always healed them. And it reminds me of a story. Christ had just been resurrected from the dead, and this disciple named Thomas said, "I don't believe it. I won't believe it until I can put my fingers into the scars, the healed scars of Jesus." And when Christ finally did come back to Thomas, Thomas was able to touch those scars because he understood that those scars, those nails going into his hands were so deep and so difficult to heal. He just couldn't believe that God would do it. But God did heal Jesus, and those scars were healed. And so every time I have a little cut or a scrape in my body and I see it healing, I think about Christ being healed by God and being resurrected from the dead, and how one day all of us will get to be with God in heaven, and all those little scrapes and bruises that we have, they'll all be healed. And so that's a really important thing to remember anytime you get a cut or a scrape. Now, I'm going to take this Band-Aid. Wow, that hurt. I'm going to take these Band-Aids off, but before I do, I want you to raise your hands with me. Okay. Wave them around like you just don't care. Slap them together. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes. And I want you to pray. We're going to pray, and I want you to repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for being our friend. Thank you for loving us. And help us always to remember that all scars will one day heal. Amen. All right, thank you, kids, for listening. Thank you, kids, for tuning in and watching. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.